Computer. Hello, my good friend.
Hello,
It's been a
hello.
while.
Yes, true.
Um,
What
yeah.
should be?
So, what are you up to? I recently got a mail that your product has been released, and I
Yes.
was and I was very pleased that it's like a short course type of thing. Let us know
Yeah.
what it is about. What did you make? Why did you make it? How was the process? Give me
Yeah.
give me give
So
me something good.
basically, I released a product called Hooks.hook, which is basically a
Great title.
short.
Love the title.
Yeah, right. I know. I know. I think it's a great title, even if I put it myself. um, it's basically a short video course on writing better thread hooks, and it's like super specific because it's not only about like Twitter writing or anything, or even thread writing. It's just only about thread hooks. And the reason is because, as you know, obviously, if you have been on Twitter around, the way to grow like faster your audience is by doing threads. Usually, is like one of the easiest ways to grow your audience faster. But there is a huge problem with threads, and it's like most of them are not being read by people simply because the first tweet, like the hook, what they call the hook, is not good enough to catch people's attention, because obviously you come to Twitter to with the mindset to read like shorter things, to read tweets. That's the whole point. And then there is people that we do threads, but a thread requires like a longer investment in the part of the audience. So you need to really convince them, right, to invest like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes to read your thread. And the way to do that is to create a good first tweet. The thing is that those good first tweets are super hard, I think, to create. At least if you don't have like some experience with copywriting and stuff like that, because it needs to be like attention grabbing, it needs to like elicit curiosity, it needs to do like a bunch of things, and it's super hard. At least for me, even for me, it's super hard to do. But the way that I solve this problem is basically I had like a huge library of thread hooks laying around of successful threads. And like I'm like a nerd of this kind of stuff, so I try to study and understand why it works and so on. So basically I thought, if this is useful for me, this could be useful for other people probably. So I just tried to find a way to package it and ship it like to whoever might be interested. And that's basically the whole reason why I did it. And yeah, you have
Was
like
that
a question?
was there anything like you've done this for a while, you know pretty much how this game works, and so on. Was there
Yeah.
anything interesting that you actually learned during this like process when you decided, okay, I could make a product from this, I will grab the knowledge I know? Was there something that
Mhm.
like you discovered along the way that was something new and fresh for you?
Hmm. Yeah, I've learned a couple of things for sure, like some structures that I didn't know, or I wasn't super aware that they were like preset structures, and I was like, whoa, this guy is like super, or this girl, like this person is super original, and it's not really like it's just preset structure. And even like super like top creators on Twitter, people who have like huge followings, they replicate all the time their own structures that work in the past. Because when I was doing some research, I saw like the same account doing the same style of thread 3, 4, 5 different times, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm totally up for that. It's just like it works, you know.
Yeah,
So
but it always like it always feels it kind of always feels different because you're talking about different things. You
yeah,
take the template and you put in about whatever. You can talk about this, that,
yeah,
and something else. So it's always feels different. So yeah, it's a common thing. I think people, and of course all of us, we like, why should we all the time reinvent and do new things? If you, okay,
exactly.
this works, let me double down on this one. Okay, I'm kind of tired of this, let me experiment and find something new. So I think there's always a balance, because reinventing the wheel all the time is very hard and tiring.
It's too tiring. Yeah.
Yeah. And how was like the building process? You went all in build in public. There was like a
Yeah,
thread and an updates and sales data and whatnot, and this
yeah.
was this was very build in public style. How that went? Were you happy about it?
So yeah, 100%. The thing is, for me, by building in public is not like it could be like partly of marketing move, but it's mostly like an accountability thing for me. Because if I put it in public and then I start like sharing everything that I do, it's like my journal, but I'm just sharing it on Twitter. And it obviously works for marketing. It's great marketing and people get more invested in the journey. But at the same time, is if I say in the first tweet, okay, I'm going to release this product this day, then I kind of need to deliver. Because I already have, I don't know, like a bigger audience than I used to have. So people might hold you accountable to that and like, hey, what happened with this? Like what happened with this project? And you don't want that to happen, right? And your credibility is kind of on the line in the sense of delivering. So for me, like putting it out there is mostly an accountability thing. Obviously, it's good for marketing, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a good side effect and very good point. Yeah, you can always like refund the money if you don't want to make
Yeah,
it. But
exactly.
as you said, but your like credibility suffers a bit, if your excuse is not good enough. let's say it like that.
Yeah.
Good. And okay, so far now it's live, it's public, it's published. What's next?
Yeah.
It's just done deal and move on to the next thing, or you have something more planned for this one?
No, so the thing that I wanted to test with this was like, instead of, as you said, like doing like a full flagship course that takes 4 or 5 hours and I teach you everything that I know about Twitter, but like 90% of people don't get past the first 2 hours. I wanted to focus more on, I want to try keep experimenting with more like super niche courses that might not sell by the millions, but they teach you one specific thing, but we only focus on that one specific thing, and we go like super value per minute oriented, So this course, for example, only lasts, I think it's an hour in total. Perfect. But I think that's an ideal length because you can see it in one sitting. You can consume it in one sitting, and then you can start applying things right away because it's actually it's geared to be actionable. So this format of courses, like super short, but teach you one thing, but they teach you like everything that you need to know, and you can start implementing right away. I think it's a super interesting format.
I don't know. To me personally, I can't like emphasize how much I miss this and how much I want like more people to go about this thing, because I think there is so much of this. Course creators have so much of this feeling that I need to like provide so much different things and so on, and we move completely away. Like, what's the main thing? Why that person is giving you the money? Well, most likely to get the results. Do they need to like consume this like 5-hour course and know every single detail? Like, it will just make them overwhelmed, and actually the results will suffer because they will not follow through. So making it like as short as possible, as actionable, and focusing really on the main things, I think it's critical, and I'm very happy that you did it, and I wish more people would do it and would shake off this notion and think that I need to make it
another 100%. And the other thing is that this course, like this format, is also way faster to produce for the creator too, right? Because I kind of time boxed it, so it took me like 8 to 10 hours to create the whole thing, from idea to recording to promotion, like everything. 8 to 10 hours. So that's like 1 day worth of work, let's say. And just by the pre-sales, for example, in my case, it made over $1,000. So that's around $100 an hour, which is a pretty good hourly rate, if you ask me. So even if it doesn't sell like anything else after this, it's already more or less kind of paid. For me, it's like
that's a very good point. Yeah.
It has already worked, and right now everything that comes right now, every sale that comes right now, it's just extra. It's like free money, so to say. Not free money, but like
passive income, the magical passive income.
the famous passive income.
Yeah.
So I went with that mindset that treat it like client work, for example, and I bill $100 per hour, and it took me 1 hour. I made $1,000, and right now everything that comes after this is like an extra. So I think that's a pretty interesting mindset to go into this too. I didn't invest like 50 hours of my work into this plus $2,000 in recording equipment. I recorded it basically with this webcam here, Loom, which I use. It's free to use, but I pay for it, but it's free to use. And Notion, which I write everything there and host the course there too. So, the cost of doing the course is like $0, just 8 hours of my time or 10 hours of my time. So
yeah, that's a good lesson, I think, for people out there that it doesn't. And yeah, I should learn this as well, because I'm still a perfectionist.
Your course is kind of like that too. Like, it's pretty short but highly valuable, I think, because it teaches
it's short, but it took a while to make it and to put everything in, because I guess I'm like, that course covers more in terms of the like whole visualization journey. It's a bit different, hooks, talking only about hooks. It can be shorter, and that I could probably make faster as well if I would focus on some specific thing, maybe about visuals. Then I would be able to do it. But yeah, But yeah, thanks for sharing this. That's very actually valuable. And I think if somebody is listening, then definitely productize yourself, as Jack Butcher is telling. But
Yeah,
okay, like
100%.
kind of maybe if you don't want to share anything about this, but like before we wrap up, let's say there's somebody who wants to know some insights, what's give us something, maybe for someone who cannot afford it or whatever, that give us some good nuggets from this
Yeah.
course.
So basically I took a list of, I think it was over 100 hooks that I had saved, and I narrowed it down to 70 something, which is what is included in the course as examples. And I created this checklist for like the elements that I saw like that were common within each other, and it actually made a lot of sense, because at the same time I'm reading this book that I actually have it right here, which is this Made to Stick, which is a really good book too. And I basically took the checklist that they say about this book about what makes ideas sticky, and I noticed that what makes hooks work is kind of the same principles. So as long as you can make it, so there were 6 elements. It was simple, fast delivery, so pretty similar to visuals too. Fast delivery, some sort of emotion, story, credibility, or social proof, and another one which I can remember right now, which doesn't speak too much the good of me as a course creator. But the thing was like the successful hooks had at least 2 or 3 of these elements implied, so that was the core learning that I got. So the thing is, as long as it's fast delivered, or it's like a simple idea, or it's credible in some way, the combination of these different elements made for different hooks. And yeah, that was like a huge learning that I noticed, that even if they don't look alike at all in terms of like how they are formatted or presented and written, if you dig a bit deeper, like they're basically 5-6 core elements that every good hook has, so that was like a huge discovery for me too.
That's a very good point, I think. And it's nice that you have this kind of framework, and then when you are like, let's say I write thread, and then I have this goal for my hook. Okay, I need to aim for some of these, what is in this like information where I could get the credibility, whatever, and then you just maybe write it long, but you're okay, this does deliver credibility, and then you just try to play with words and make it shorter or whatever. But I think most people are just right out of the gate, including me, just try to write something clever and maybe throw in a number there or something, because I don't know, but there is no like logic behind it. But what you give is kind of the logic that you need to aim for, and then you just kind of stick the puzzle from there. Awesome. Good. Thanks for insights. Let's wrap it up here.
Cool.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye